Hey there, Rivermen fans. I'm Jason Ruff. Welcome back to another episode of the Drydock Podcast. This is the podcast where we get to take a look back at the Rivermen season that was, get a look forward at what will be coming now that the Rivermen ship is in dry dock, so to speak, this summer. Our next guest is one of the winningest coaches, not only in Peoria Rivermen history, but in SPHL history. He already has the most playoff wins of any coach in the Southern Professional Hockey League's history. He is only 6 or 7 wins away from being the all-time regular season winningest coach in the league's history. He has brought 2 President's Cup championships to the River City, including this past season. I, of course, am talking about Peoria's very own Jean-Guy Trudel. Guy, you look a little too comfortable, man, sitting in your car, your mobile office, so to speak, I guess.
I call my Porsche. Yeah, my Porsche is doing well, right? No, we have workouts in the morning with I still train a lot of kids over the summer. So just finished a workout and I had to talk to my buddy Ruffer, so might as well do it from my Porsche, my friend.
Absolutely. Well, I was going to talk about the last championship, but you and David Minion dropped some big news on us at the end of this week, so I've got to start it on that. Alec Baer not only is the first signee for the Peoria Rivermen for next season, but he is also the new Rivermen captain. Again, Alec Baer, the new captain of the Peoria Rivermen following Alec Hageman's retirement. Guy, I've got to ask you, what qualities do you see in Alec Baer that lends him to being a good captain for the Peoria Rivermen, and why now? Why make this announcement now?
So I've been in conversation with a lot of players, and I always get feedback from my old players also. So for me, decisions like captaincy is very important, especially after losing Alec Hageman, which we understand how big of a role he had in the organization, but I don't think people understand how big he was in the locker room. So, you have to have a special relationship with your captain, and your captain has got to be completely selfless and do things that, all that matters is about the team and the team success. And we felt like we had some great candidates. I mean, there's a lot of guys that might be coming back that are great candidates for captain, but we felt like Bearsy over the last year and a half really took a step forward, leadership wise, in the locker room wise, but also he's involved in the community a lot, with youth hockey and different type of things, helping out anywhere he can. And I think I've been with Bearsy now, I'd say 4 or 5 years. So it's been a while, and I see the growth. And I understand also now, like I told you, for Bearsy right now, it's all about the team, all about winning. It's got nothing to do with his personal stats anymore. He had a chance to play the coast. He had a chance to play different places, but he loves Peoria. He wants to make it his home. And for us, it was important to follow Alec Hageman's footstep. It was important to find that guy that really cares about the city of Peoria, his teammates, and the hockey team first before of himself. And I think he's at the point of his career where that's all it is. He's all about winning. He's all about Peoria, and he's all about bringing success and pride to the city of Peoria. So for us, it wasn't easy. Like I said, there's guys that have been with me, the Wilkies and the Jimmers and all those guys. There's a lot of great candidates out there, Ernie and all those guys. But we felt like Alec Baer is kind of the guy that brings everything together. He's going to bring all those guys together. And don't get me wrong, we'll still have our leadership group. That's very important to me. We have our meetings weekly, and it's very important to me. But Alec will be the leader of all that group and making sure, like you said, that we continue our success that we're having the last few years.
Guy, you mentioned that championship core and that leadership core. That's so important to your success on the ice, off the ice, and that leads to championships. That's perfect. Bring me back to the President's Cup championship here. Rivermen becoming the first team in SPHL history to go down 1-0 in a best-of-3 final series and then to come back to win. I asked Eric Levine this question a few weeks ago. I want to ask you now. So, Guy, you talk a lot going into that last game, those last 2 games. Huntsville did what it had to do in game 1, but you go into game 2 with your backs against the wall, hoping to force a game 3. What's going on in your mindset? How do you prepare for those very tough situations there?
Yeah, it was tough because like I said, the good thing about the message after the game was just that Huntsville did what they had to do. They won their home game. We were coming home to a place where we only had 1 regulation loss. So we understood that we felt pretty confident at home. But for me, it was about this. We had to change momentum quickly. And we saw right in the first period. The boys came out and scored 3 in the first period. That gave us a lot of confidence, knowing that if we continue in the same path, we felt pretty good that was going to go to Game 3. And don't get me wrong, I thought we made a few mental mistakes, and I think it was nerves, a little bit more nerves that game. A few mistakes we don't usually do, but we did take it to Game 3. And Game 3, like I said again, the first period we were just phenomenal. I do believe that the game 2 and 3. I think Hags, knowing that it was his last game, I thought he played his 2 best games that I've ever seen him play in a pure uniform. I thought putting McPherson with Bearsy and Hags, I thought that line was just fantastic. And all our core players, our D, Morsey came up with 2 big goals, but I think everybody just kind of dialed it in, knew it was our last game of the year no matter what, so you had nothing to save it for, and we just played not perfect hockey, but pretty darn good playoff hockey.
How special was that entire weekend at home? Alec Hageman has the weekend of his life, and you're able to win the championship in front of a raucous atmosphere. Where does that weekend rank among your coaching career?
When it comes to hockey, I was lucky. I've been a part of a lot of championship teams, coaching, playing. It was the best because it was the first time in my life I got to do it at home. My family was there. My friends were there. A lot of great Peoria youth hockey kids and families were there, and our great fans in Peoria. I mean, I think we only had like 6,000, but it felt like it was 16,000 in that building. It was a great atmosphere, and doing it at home, and also with we talked about Storybook all the time. Also with Hags retiring. We called it our last ride for that reason. So it was just a special weekend. And, as a coach, you try to separate yourself from the players a little bit during the year, but it was kind of nice to just being able, be part of the team and, tell the great achievement they had. Because I'm telling you, the last 3 years, I'm a big believer even the year before, if we don't have our bus breaking down and 40 hours on the road there. And then after that, we had to leave to Roanoke, another 30 hours of road trip there. In about 7 days span, we were 80 hours on the road. I think we would have had a chance to make it 3 in a row. So for us to be able to come back, I think that second championship, the boys were so disappointed. So the Wilkies, Jimmer, all the guys that were coming back that year, they had a mission of bringing it back home. And you can see what type of athletes and leaders we had, and they did what they had to do. And just doing it at home, man, it was something special, something I'll never forget.
Speaking on yourself personally, this past off season, you became the winningest coach in SPHL history for playoffs. You're about 6 or 7 wins away from regular season becoming the winningest head coach in SPHL history in terms of regular season wins. I know you're not one for personal accolades, and I know you always give me that look when I ask you about personal achievement. But when you hear that you are on the cusp or about ready to be the winningest coach in SPHL history, in the history of this league, what stands out to you when you look back on the success that you've had coaching here in Peoria? What has been the secret sauce behind that success?
My players. I mean, I have an organization that support me. I always say you're going to make mistakes as a head coach, but I have a great organization, great boss that supports me no matter what. And then you find the right players, man. That's all it is. You want to be a great coach, find the right players. And over the years, I think I started understanding a little bit more how team chemistry, all those, the leadership group, all those things are important to what we do. And not only the hockey part, the X and O's. It's, you got to build a lot of special things to make it all come true. And I think we're at the point where we understand the process. But the first and foremost that you learn that in leadership seminars, like the first thing you have to do is bring the right people through the front door. And I think our players and my staff, we always make sure that our staff is the right staff and our players are the right players to do what we want to do. Because once you get to the pro level, yes, you want to develop those athletes to become the best version of themselves. But like me, it's all about winning. When you're at the pro level, you want to win. And our players that we bring in, I think over the last few years, they got us a lot of wins by doing the right things every single day. And we are demanding. I mean, I always say I treat it as an AHL team. I mean, I think the reason we win a lot is we work out more than other teams. We practice harder than other teams, and that kind of transfers into games and brings us a lot of wins in Peoria. So for me, without my organization and my players, really, those wins wouldn't come.
I think another aspect to this in what separates you from everyone else is the fact that you're always learning. Every time I walk downstairs, you're either reading a new book, watching a new video on leadership, or listening to a new book on team chemistry and leadership. You're constantly learning. Obviously, the Guy of today is different from the Guy of 5 years ago in terms of coaching style, but how important has been that constant sense of striving to improve, striving to get better? How has that helped you personally?
I think it helps not only in hockey. So for me, as a person, I want to be a better husband every day. I want to be a better dad. I want to be a better friend. I want to be a better, mentor. So for me, like I said, I make mistakes, but you always try to better yourself. And I believe truly in, as a coach, if you just stay still and you don't learn every single day, the game changes and evolves so much. And I try to steal all the best ideas of all the best coaches or leadership or leaders that we have here around me to make sure I become the best version of myself. And once you're never satisfied, you keep just working towards yourself to become the best version. And I'm lucky I have that passion to be the best I can be and working with the best people I can. And that's a big thing I think in Peoria also is we don't just try to teach hockey, but we want to teach our boys when they leave the Rivermen to be the best leaders possible. So whatever they attack in life, they do it with passion and with confidence and with leadership. And that's what makes our team special. And I think that's why players want to come back to Peoria, because we just don't feel like we're doing hockey. We feel like we're building ourselves into better humans, better people. So it's been a joy, and I'm never going to stop. Like I said, I'm far away from what I want to be, so I'm just going to keep working on myself. And if I work myself enough, I can actually, relay those messages to my players and my family members and become a better person all the way around.
One of the big things that you've been involved in has been the youth hockey, the growth of hockey here in Peoria. I mean, the Rivermen have hundreds of brand new season ticket holders. I'd be willing to bet a good number of them haven't been super involved in the game of hockey like you and I have. How have you seen the growth of hockey, the growth of interest in the sport in the greater Peoria area? And how do you think the Rivermen and the Peoria Mustangs and the Peoria Youth Hockey Association, how have those three entities combined to really grow the interest in the sport here in Central Illinois?
Well, I always say it takes a village, man. I always say it takes a village to raise your kids. You have coaches, you have mentors, you have teachers, you have everything. And for us in hockey here in Peoria, there's the Rivermen, Bart Rogers, and you guys at the office staff. Does a phenomenal job of putting us out there all the time. That fans and the community know about the Rivermen. Then you have the Mustangs that for the younger age, the junior level, have a chance to play college after that. Then we have our youth hockey that's growing every single day. And like I said, I just try to be a little bit of a cog in the wheel and helping everybody kind of build a plan to make all three of them better. But we have so much help around. Like our board at YHA does a phenomenal job. All our coaches, we have so many people around Peoria that do believe in what we do. So it's important that we keep building, because we understand in Central Illinois, you have baseball, you have basketball that are number one. And for us, it's about building the sport. And then once they come and see it, they absolutely love it, because the action, the fast pace, the physicality of it, and it's a great atmosphere. And for us, I think as a group, like I said, it takes a village to build that, and hopefully I can be a little bit of a cog helping out Peoria to build a great sport that we all love.
Absolutely. Now, looking forward to next season, obviously you have Alec Baer is going to be your captain. What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge for this coming year for you personally as head coach of the Peoria Rivermen? Obviously your son, Tristan Trudel, who had a standout breakout rookie year for the Peoria Rivermen, recently signing a PTO with the Fort Wayne Comets of the ECHL. How proud of you as a father is at Tristan in order to get an opportunity at the ECHL level?
I'm proud not of him as a hockey player. I'm proud as his maturity level. I think he matured a lot this year, and kudos to our leadership group. I think it was a very difficult situation for him, for the players, and the players kind of just surrounded him and made him feel comfortable. And we needed Tristan. Don't get me wrong. I think he was a very important piece to what we were doing. But at the same time, it's never a situation you want the kid to be in or myself to be in. But the way he handled all that situation with maturity, gained leadership by our great leaders, the Bears, the Hags, and all the Jimmers and the Wilkes and all those guys. And I think right now he's dialed in the summer and working out. doing what he has to do, and he's becoming a pro in every single way, which is phenomenal for me. So yes, I'm proud of the kid for, he's going to the ECHL camp, great and all that, but I'm more proud the leader, the person he's becoming compared to what he was 2-3 years ago. So as a father, you want your kids to mature, you want your kids to be strong enough mentally to attack any challenges. And this new challenge, he looks at me, he's like, I can't wait to go. Like, he wants to attack new challenges, and that's what I'm the most proud of. He gained a lot of confidence from last year, and I'll never be enough thankful for my players for that. I mean, they took him under their wings and did what they had to do for him to mature. And there's some tough times, but they never quit on the kid. And that's right now he's confident enough to attack those new challenges. So again, to all my players, man, I tell you this every single day. I hate talking about myself. I love my players because without my players, I know that we don't have the success that we're having in Peoria right now.
Well, sometimes we do have to talk a little bit about you, Guy, and that leads me to my last question. How's your summer been? Have you been able to get any good fishing in? Have you caught anything big lately? I know you were up in Maine a few weeks ago.
I used to give crap to my old man that I caught all the fish and I was a great fisherman. I think I'm getting worse and worse every day, man. I went to Maine, couldn't catch anything. I'm everywhere I go right now, I'm awful. So I'm waiting for Papa Ruff right now to bring me on this big boat and actually make him catch a fish, and I'll reel it in. And I'll feel good about myself again. Because right now I'm really down in the dump as a fisherman. But vacation wise, I've had more vacations ever. So I'm not a vacation guy, but I've been on vacation more than ever, which I enjoy. But a lot of them had to do with tournaments. So again, my Pee Wee team and my sport team were going to Vegas this weekend. That one I'm pretty excited about. It's been 12 years since I've been to Vegas. So I'm excited. It's been a great summer. Been calling a lot of players, a lot of great conversation with phenomenal players we're trying to recruit in Peoria. So really happy with my summer. And like I said, my youth, I think we had 100 kids training, 100 kids this summer. We had 20 in the gym that are maturing, becoming greater leaders. So for me, it's every single day. If I can mentor a kid a little bit to become a better leader and a better person, a better hockey player, I did my job. So it's been a great summer. Miss you though, buddy. I don't see you enough. I don't see the office staff enough. I miss Levy, my assistant coach. I miss my players to death. It's nice that I have Wilkes in town I see here and there, and Barks was injured, just left. Bearsy came back to help out since Hags is gone. My captain's Wisconsinite. Is that how we say it now?
Wisconsin. Or Bear is actually from Minnesota. So he's a Minnesota.
No. Hags.
Hags is a Wisconsinite.
Yeah, so Hags is a Wisconsinite anymore, so we don't see him anymore. He's too good for us.
Cheesehead.
Yeah, he's a cheesehead now. He's too good for us. So Bearsy came back, replaced him, helping out with my camp. So it's nice to see my players, but I miss the locker room. I miss, I always say we spend so much time together that, it's good for 2 months, but then you start missing the challenges and the competition of it all.
Well, Guy, we're certainly can't wait to see you back here in the locker room, getting things ready for the upcoming season. And don't worry, we'll get together with Papa Ruff and he'll get you out on the boat. Hey, he reeled in a 24.5 pounder like last weekend or so.
Why couldn't he wait till I was on the boat for that?
He just wanted to go out, do some night. I think it's the night fishing. I think that's the key. Night. See, and that's perfect. You don't have to get up early. You just go at night and you go fish. And if the fish are hitting, they're bigger. There you go.
Ruffer, be honest to the audience right now. I have no problem in the morning. Somebody took a little nap on the boat, though. Hey, Ruffer.
Okay. Yes, but to be fair, we did have a long night the previous night. To be fair.
But if you're man enough to stay late, you're man enough to get up in the morning.
Now it's going to be a man enough thing? Wow. Très bien, Jean-Guy. Très bien. Guy,
I miss you, buddy.
I miss you too, Guy. Thanks so much for the time. Tell Angie and the entire family to say hi. Can't wait to see you later on this summer and when we get closer to the regular season. Should be a blast.
All right. Thanks, Ruffer, for everything. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, Guy.